there were bank transfers. And I also have evidence of how the money was spent. Okay? How the money was spent from March 2020, including transfers of 200,000, 100,000, who took it and what. I have all of that.
Brabe kumbi mami already a queen minti Brabe kumbi mami chama Wontumi ampana mon sorry.
The application was refused by the court. Yes.
Okay, they've worked on the extradition. The extradition proceedings have taken place in the United States. And we are expecting that, barring any appeal by her lawyers, she may, very soon be extradited to Ghana to serve her prison term. But Americans have indicated that they've completed the process.
Operation recover all eja tutu kasa day. Hit what? Chama Wontumi in trouble. Adentia. Papa ne say bronya na aba no ke since I yoko for everything account. Command the na che. Kase na nua po ayo no kase he. Wo sani mu mokra ne yasa reverse wa dia mo back. Chama Wontumi ni lawyer and the appeal kubi. Any the legal team. Eko pay mu ewo the Accra High Court. Say enko unko overturn it. Na account no omo on freeze emfama no. Say bia bronya nipa nya abo nipa bedi. Nipa bedi. Ese na busu afo fili. Amanfo ahwe amanfo mo dan no. Amanfo Chama Wontumi anyi sika. Omunya bi ni o say court say dey bi. Accra High Court say Chama Wontumi lie. Baby tena. Accounts no still frozen. Yen on freezing in na. Because na yen go on freezing wie na ye wie. Na sika no sha say odi nyafu. Na o transfer bi go different accounts mu. Na say ko fa na o say o ye guilty a. Eno za no o be dey be twesika. Wontumi metwea. Enti Chama jai. Now Chama Wontumi any the lawyer pay free court them. Now when the lawyer and the appeal could be one of the legal team. Any much Chama Wontumi no church as say lawyer na no na funfumo. Say asem na aburu no so na when the way Chama Wontumi eh nanim. Papa na say Papa disappointed. What do court for you? Ne ya. Unya say unya obesu. Na December you obeda nya sika. E dia di bronya. Already power no wadi bronya. In fact, the last 8 years under the MPP wadi bronya in star. Odi bronya in Rambo star. And then you're freezing accounts. Yes, emfa. Papa no akana no atum. Already anima aninsu nko ha. Odi say baby what do you know? Ekun mi ntimi nko. Brabe ku bi mami already. Ekun mi ntimi nko ha. Brabe ku bi mami Chama Wontumi ampana mon sorry. No lawyer. It's in
respect of one of Chairman's companies, Paradise Insurance, and it was in respect of the freezing of the accounts of the company. We applied for the freezing order to be set aside, and it's been adjourned.
So adjourned to when, please?
Adjourned Senator. Yes. The application was refused by the court. Yes. So that'll be all for today. Subsequently, we'll update you on other proceedings.
Eddie, after Accra Court, I'm at this message. Chama Wontumi. The case is on frozen account, no information on DB. Account in the very many, you will look at this. Now, and now the government accountability series. You go to Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Domnic Ayine say, hey, Operation Recover All the John Remandi Mama Diba, yeah. Sibesi na yenti hwiye hwi Chama Wontumi case update ya tisa ya bre adubu ahe update ya ya bre ada ide na eko ano se amanfo bi ahya se titiri adubu ahe ne Ofori Atta mo atwetwe sika ma bloggers ana bloggers yi ene message no ma twententi no mo the narratives enenam ana mo tire say according to a witness in court pa tire say Attorney General and Minister for Justice Domnic Ayine sikana omu allege say adubu ahe awie $7 million no enuru sa na witness na asema o kan say ope per the exchange rate ya na is can say less than that when Attorney General say only the onim sa asem no the onim say $7 million ana papa e friend Adubuahin wadi na se mpo o prove say one Ghana pe ana papa na di a wo prove say o yekromfo nti eno ano no de o wetima ya ne se o be prove say yekromfo me say ene obo atoni je na obo aha like who be prove say one Ghana one ye be so o no he need to be arrested but operation recover all loot first ye be di esika anso ya be di no so our money every single penny involved attorney general papa your friend Adubuahin so your family guilty he must bring all.
I just want to ask the critical questions because what the strategy that Kwabena Adubuahin and his acolytes in the social media and mainstream media have engaged in is to continuously misreport. At some point in time, I thought of bringing applications for contempt because they are undermining the very administration of justice. Have you ever seen or heard my deputy, the Honorable Justice Srimsai, commenting on the case after court? I have given him strict instructions. We don't do that. All right? We are the leaders of the bar. We must go by the ethical traditions of the bar. You don't comment on a case in a manner that adversely, affects the case that is being made in court. But this is what they have been doing. So they get bloggers, they pay everyone to be saying things that are not. So for instance, if you say, the evidence is now coming out that Ghana must go bags of money were being transferred, it's normal at the national security. For God's sake, I didn't say, if you look at my case, I never said that Kwabena Adubuahin stole money in Ghana must go bags. Have I made that case? So what is the relevance of the Ghana must go bags argument? All right, I leave it to you, to your judgment. But if you look at my case, there were bank transfers. And I also have evidence of how the money was spent. Okay? How the money was spent. From March 2020 to August 2020, he had finished spending the $7 million. Whether you are whatever exchange rate of exchange you are using, the money was finished, and I have all the bank details, including transfers of 200,000, 100,000, who took it and what. I have all of that. You see, extradition is based upon certain legal principles. Okay. Now, if the extraditor if the offense, for instance, does not fall within the ambit of the extraditable offenses provided under the treaty, it will be very difficult for the person to be extradited. Okay, if, for instance, there is a sense that persecution will take place rather than prosecution, that a person will not be treated fairly if extradited, it's most likely, extradition will not take place. If you cannot show by your extradition packet, that is the request that you have sent to the U.S., that the one that I have sent to the U.S., there is sufficient evidence, okay, to come to a conclusion, a reasonable conclusion that a crime has been committed, even though you still have the burden to prove that crime beyond reasonable doubt, right? Extradition may not be granted. So the basic point I want to make is that, yes, the principle of reciprocity applies, okay, and I would have been very happy to hand over Abutrika as I have done, okay, and then get Ofori Atta quickly in return, all right? But usually, the extradition proceedings take place in a court of competent jurisdiction. In our case, that is the district court, all right? In the U.S., it will also be the federal district court. Now, mind you, the person who is the subject matter of extradition will fight it in court. Okay, so the American authorities won't just take my request and say, here you are, here is Ken Ofori Atta, and then here is, his other accomplished, and you take them, and then they can face trial. It will have to go through court proceedings in the U.S., all right? And I just got to know, that he has hired some of the top, yesterday, I got to know that he has hired some of the top lawyers in the United States of America, very experienced lawyers,
to, defend him. Now, I'm not afraid at all. All right? I am not afraid at all. But it means that there's going to be a fight in the federal courts in the U.S. If the district court says no, he will go to the circuit court. All right? If the circuit court says no, he's entitled to go to the U.S. Supreme Court to fight his case. So I cannot tell you that he will come tomorrow or he will come the next day. Okay? And I'm just being honest. Accounting to the people means being explicit and truthful. So this is what, we are faced with. But I have, on behalf of the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we have taken the requisite steps to bring him to Ghana to face trial. And if I were him, this is his home. He should just join the next flight and come here. Under my watch, he will not be treated unfairly. You know, he will go through due process and be prosecuted just like any other person, just like Kobina Edubohi or Hanan or any of the persons that I have filed charges against. Next approach, EOCO successfully used our local laws to freeze and recover virtual assets hidden in foreign jurisdictions. As a result, on November 19, 2025, Zodiac Custody successfully converted the said crypto assets of the criminal enterprise and paid same to EOCO's exhibit account in the amount of $15,191,730 United States of American dollars and 13 cents. As demonstrated above, the criminal enterprise targeted our citizens, defrauded them, and laundered the criminal proceeds into cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, USDT, and Ethereum in an attempt to further hide the proceeds from the reach of Ghana's law enforcement. With this recovery, millions of funds which were looted out of the country have been successfully returned to our motherland. In the coming days, EOCO will enter into a second phase of this case, which will involve screening both Ghanaians and British victims for restitution. As His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, stated during a recent press conference, Ghana will no longer be a safe place for any form of criminal activity which seeks to target our economy, our financial system, and our citizens. This case should therefore serve as a clear warning that EOCO has developed the capability to investigate and recover virtual assets such as cryptocurrency, and that no foreign jurisdiction is too far from the long arm of Ghanaian law enforcement. Since EOCO's Shiza, the international law enforcement community has been buzzing with excitement about what they consider to be a remarkable innovation and success in modern law enforcement through the use of the non-conviction-based asset recovery approach to recover such substantial sums of money. The use of local laws to target, freeze, realize, and repatriate proceeds of tainted virtual assets in foreign jurisdictions. Now, the other thing is about the other question relates to the Maslock CEO, the former Maslock CEO. I had to answer questions in Parliament in relation to her, and that is in relation to her extradition. And I did indicate to Parliament that in July of 2024, the formal request for her extradition was put in by my predecessor, right? In other words, it was put in by my office. Now, the American authorities have, worked on it. Okay, they've worked on the extradition. The extradition proceedings have taken place in the United States. And we are expecting that, barring any appeal by her lawyers, she may, very soon be extradited to Ghana to serve her prison term. And her lawyers, of course, if she comes and she instructs them to go to court on her behalf because she was tried in absentia, that will be another, angle to the matter. But that drama will be played out here on this side of the Atlantic and not in the United States of America. So that is all that I can say about her. I don't have any definitive information about when she will be, extradited. But the Americans have indicated that they've completed this in the process.
Say, Abana we ya na minu mi nanim say, hey, baby aduru no yansa be case kabebwa. You slow still. And I say so far, update ni sika ya sha se ye edede edi free amanfo nsem kind of for that extradition after the file ye United States of America for I say this asem because kind of for that go followers said the man tamaklu na da bia na we see where's president said the man tamaklu onu ye NDCDT and so it wetwa and I chama Wontumi so kuso a bronya ide ebe di pa ma chama Wontumi na council ogosiki say the Accra High Court on freezing for man say da bia bronya nipa nya abo nso bedidi no Accra High Court say obo sika de ma wa hwe asebeba enti na so tra ho sika na so da bank ye mfa ensan kan ye di wasen wie na wudi bema o say ameke o sika ba eno nsi ye dia chama forget it kra na nya dia be possible chama Wontumi o na numo tin say bibia duru no papa ni nya obesu dia ka ketwa bi ya ka ni na so obesu am say eh o say krono nya o ya na o bo so na o ya gagai o danda ho ti say we calculator na say eh cargo car no on say nipa ye say on say chama Wontumi nipa say chama Wontumi emre sika bebrebe gold money stolen money liquid money also woni na no ne etwetwa na we for comment comment section na say chama Wontumi on fire can ya Ofori Atta extradition in the tomb at the same time Sedman Tamaklu the extradition request na completed US4 as on the neighbor operation recover all Ghana you go for bomb over $50 million na you free Ghana for in operation recover all is it working now for you and I still okay for comment no comment section na say na subscribe we are like it na share mo we so enyebi edi no back Max Billian our naked truth on Oldboga Trust Macau. Bye bye.